Was there an incremental advance this session sheep?
Oh yes, I forgot. Yes, you get one.
Oh, that's nice.
Go for more spells.
By the way, Sid, is there any sort of teleportation service between major cities?
Teleportation requires an immense amount of magic as well as control. It is not a service that is simply offered. It is, in fact, one of the most difficult spells in existence. It's possible, but it's not being sold on the street corner.
Mm-hmm.
Like a level 10 character kind of thing. Well, level 9, I think, technically. But level 9 non-multiclass. As a cleric, we call it overworld travel. By traveling through the clouds into heavens. Alright.
Right, so we don't really go to the original approach from what I understood.
I don't know, like, I mean, we could, but personally, I feel like, as a person who plays video games and stuff, I've at some point gathered an army to face the grand evil a few times at this point. Like, the premise itself doesn't really... It's not very new, you know?
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. It's not as personal, I suppose. It's not as adventures, maybe. So yeah, there is gonna be a hand of information, I suppose.
Like, we're the kind of people who do big things, and then we inspire through our actions others, who then will go and like do the politicking and the spreading of the word, right?
Mm.
We're not the only adventurers out there doing this, probably, but we're the only ones that are us. So we can focus on what we can do that nobody else could, and then inspire with our actions others to do the other things that they do, like the adventurer tier people who look up to us.
Yeah, I suppose like what I...
Like, and maybe there's like a little nerd necromancer who has like Anrakyn's poster on his wall. He's like, oh, that is Anrakyn, the soul stealer. He's so cool.
I wouldn't... The thing is, we're not known, though, at all. Like, no one knows about us. We just...
I don't know, we're champion tier. That by itself.
Yeah, but like mechanically we are, but...
At this point, even disregarding the mechanical, like, meaning of champion tier, you have attracted attention from quite a few sources. You've done things in Myrton, you've blown up a jail in Coppergate. You have done things.
But the Myrton stuff, no one believed us there.
Good things?
They just laughed at us. And
the majority doesn't believe you. The important people, however, are not necessarily of the same opinion that you didn't do it.
We are terrorists, though, yes. That is... And
we will always have Markdown.
So is the Red, and he's still an accepted political figure. Like, they have that whole thing about just terrorizing and eating innocent people to make others like have to get stronger and defend them. Like, if that's okay, then you know people don't take it that hard. We didn't kill anyone.
I don't think that's true.
I mean, only the Grey people, they were evil. Orc backed up on that. I'm sure the people we hired back there can have found some good information pointing in that direction too.
Personally, sure. I'm perfectly fine diving into our characters more than anything else. I'm fine with that as well. It doesn't seem like that's where this was headed, but if everyone is fine with taking that road, then I'm fine with it too. I like interacting with the world because I think Sheep has made an interesting one, and I want to have more of the characters and the stories from the world. I want to talk to the enemy. Like I want to go to Crimson Peak because it seems like an interesting place. It's like seeing. I guess I'm more like interested than to see these places and talk to these people than I necessarily am delving into a tomb. You know what I'm saying? Because a tomb is a tomb, but the enemy, there's only one of him. That's the uniqueness. That's the interesting stuff for me.
So you want to go sightseeing?
In a way, yeah. I want to see the world, meet the people, and dungeon delving and stuff. Yeah, sure, that's what we do. We're adventurers. But I
I
think
don't know. I think they're much more connected.
But you don't find cool characters in a dungeon usually.
Well, we kinda did find quite a few actually.
Well, I mean,
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, where does this dungeon start? I guess, but we found a whole order of the scroll and Kula's skeletal dragon, even paladin, who didn't live very long. But yeah, we did find people. Yeah, the way I see it, basically, so to interrupt, it's that the doom is not just a doom. The tomb is it's not just a tomb. It's an extension of this world. It's very big part of it. Maybe contains the history of it, the small details that you may not really see in a very civilized and crowded place. Dunno.
Ultimately, I want the Scythe, I want Erasmus, I want all of that.
Rightfully. On that topic, by the way, I was gonna say that we don't have to see the Fey plane as the end goal. Actually, I think that it should be visited at least twice. Because first of all, it's a whole plane, so we should at the very least know what it's like, right? So a scouting mission at the very least. And then, maybe like Manaki said, you don't even have to fight your enemy directly. Maybe you just want to steal the scythe.
Yeah, I don't know. Thinking of going there to just take a peek is reasonable, I think. I'm just have a dreadful suspicion that, like, once we open that gate, then that's it. That's like there's no going back.
You
like,
should finish whatever side quest you have before you complete this mission.
That is definitely what I'm feeling going to the Feywild. Or just the thing of like, we punch through and then like immediately a sniveling minion runs up to Erasmus and the Doom and whatever else. It's like, oh my lord, they have arrived, and he's like, good, send everyone to destroy them. And then we have nowhere to go and we're dead.
Yeah, that's the thing though. If it's like a whole plane, then it's probably gonna be very fast, geographical, I guess. Like, you're not gonna arrive outside his door immediately. You're probably gonna have to search to even find where he may even be. Like, actually finding where Erasmus is a whole quest on its own.
But we are entering a plane that is viciously hostile towards us, most likely.
From what I understood, it's not really. It's more like an in-between plane. Like, it doesn't seem to have a direct connection to him. Like, he just sort of, I guess, hides there or uses
Given
it.
what we've seen, it seems to me like he or something else is corrupting the place and using it for their own ambitions. Which leads me to believe that most of that plane is under his control. Or its control, or whatever you want to call it.
Maybe, but then again, it can be no more in his control than it is in, the actual place we are right now, to the architect's control or to the enemy's control. Like, how much control do they even have to each individual creature in it?
But they have limited control because they are balanced by other powers.
Yeah, that's the thing. He may be.
There doesn't seem to be any civilization.
I don't know, actually. That's another thing. We don't really know much about the Fae. We don't know how different they are from each other. How civilized even, or anything really.
So
Do they build cities? Do they just exist? Do they have goals?
I've always imagined the Fae being all feeling and nothing else. They don't think, they feel.
I've always imagined the Fae as being mad, like.
That's what I mean. Like
they sense, and it's just all craziness.
They are whimsical, and emotion. That's what they are.
Mad.
Like today, there's a tower here. Next time, it's just cucumbers. Who knows? This time, the cucumbers have teeth and eat you.
It's down the rabbit hole world, right? Wonderland sort of place, but with nature themes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, these 6 sylvan elves are having a tea party here in the forest. How could you question that? Doesn't make any sense. Well,
what's the difference?
But they have to in order to keep the river running.
Between a desk and a raven, and you're like, what? And they're like, oh, you're completely mad. And then they disappear away. And you're like, oh god.
Yeah. What's that quote from Johnny Depp from Alice in Wonderland?
It is from Alice in Wonderland. In the Mad Hatter asks Alice.
Yeah. When is a raven like a writing desk?
Exactly. And she repeats. She's like, you're completely crazy.
I never got that question.
It's because it's a complete nonsense question. It's not supposed to make sense.
What is the taste of blue?
Why does he care so much?
Because he's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That's the
idea.
idea.
Manaki doesn't know what we're talking about because he doesn't watch movies.
That's right. Maybe he's read the book.
There's a book.
Yes, he has seen the Dead Tree version. As we hip youngsters call it.
Back when... How was it when the printing press began to be spread out across Europe?
Well, let me tell you. It was much easier carrying out the newspapers because before it was stone tablets, you see.
Oh.
Well, although you did still run into dinosaurs when you picked up the papers.
Yeah.
I need to get a creepy, more creepy like clothes for Anrakyn. You know, as he grows in power, his clothes should become more creepy. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you can find like a magical robe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Made of the skin of a whole ox or something like that. You know.
That's one way to go, I guess.
I'm thinking yeah, I'm thinking like the set you helped me get in World of Warcraft ship, the Deathbringer. Just this plague doctor look. It's like, oh.
Shroud of Lost Kings.
Yeah, exactly. The gauntlets of the Forgotten Conqueror. Stuff like that.
Well, I think I'm gonna head off because I've had a huge headache for the last 3 hours or so, and I'm not sure why.
I have had that too. I've eaten like freaking aspirin for the last hour.
Water. So much water.
Oh. Well, feel better, guys.
Well, no, I'll go to bed. Get some sleep.
Yeah.
Good night.
Probably.
Okay.
Goodbye.
That's that. See ya.
Night.
See ya.